one of the big name players you just mentioned, Stevie, and Raheem Sterling and Frank. There's talks apparently with Aston Villa, and now we're seeing reports that Crystal Palace as well could be the next option for Raheem Sterling. What do you think of this situation with him and Chelsea trying to move him on?
Well, if he can go, he has to go, because there is no chance that he would play for Chelsea anymore. That has been cleared by and explained by the board, I guess, and the coach. I'm very surprised. I have to say, I don't know what Aston Villa is trying to do. After Joao Felix, now they try to get Raheem Sterling, I'm not convinced. I don't know where Raheem Sterling can rebound in his career, and I wish him the best, because I always want the best for the players. But really, what I've seen the past 3 years has been so far away from the Raheem Sterling that we have known and I've seen performed. So I don't know if he can help out, Aston Villa to get better. I doubt about it. I'm not sure he can regain his fitness and his confidence. I'm surprised that Aston Villa is looking for getting a deal with him.
What do you think?
Why would you sign Raheem Sterling?
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, that's easy. I've got loads of answers for that. Why would? Well, I'll tell you why you wouldn't. Because last year he was horrendous. He wasn't particularly great in his last season with Man City. He's come to a team as an experienced player amongst a bunch of young guys. What a perfect situation to enhance your reputation by not only producing on the field, but helping all these other younger players coming in. I mean, that's what they want. That's what they need. And what did he do? Nothing. Nothing. If you're Aston Villa, if you're Aston Villa...
He got double digits in goals, lad. I mean...
He was horrendous. Come on, let's be honest.
I get it, but that's Raheem. Can we
see
see that
horrendous.
Can we see that? 1 second.
And if you're Aston Villa... Hey, here's
stick that graphic up again.
If you're Aston Villa... If I'm Aston Villa, as soon as this comes along and it's 325 grand a week, never mind what you're going to have to shell out to buy him. If I'm Aston Villa, first of all, I'm going, hold on a minute. A couple of years ago, we made this mistake with a guy called Coutinho. Gave him the crown jewels, paid him a fortune, paid a fee for him, and it was an absolute bust. When his CV should have told you that this is the perfect guy for this team. It's Coutinho all over again. You're going to give a guy like him 325,000 when he hasn't kicked the ball properly, in my opinion, for a good 18 months. And he's coming out with statements that kind of makes him look like Billy Big Time. I mean, why would you sign this guy? Would you sign him?
Well, I wouldn't on that money. What I would say, he was not Chelsea's worst performer last year. I mean, to be fair to him.
Well, that's that's a low bar, by the way.
And he was never, ever, ever going to reach the heights he did at Manchester City, because he was on the wane in terms of getting older, and he was playing with poorer players. So when you put those things together, and his inconsistencies that we saw as a youngster at Liverpool started to come back, it was almost like nobody was there kicking him up the backside like Guardiola was about his end product. Because his end product when he was a kid coming through, not surprisingly, was pretty bad. And he improved that greatly at City. He wasn't perfect in the final third, but he improved it. And we saw a lot of the old Raheem Sterling creeping back into the Chelsea performances, just in front of goal. Sometimes you're going, how the hell did he not even hit the target there? And that's the worrying thing. He was not, by a long shot, their worst performer. I wouldn't, to answer Stevie's question, I wouldn't be going out unless it was some incentivised deal that if he did not perform, I was not shelling out those big bucks, then I would be happy to do something like that if it was a performance-based salary and contract, because that's in a perfect scenario for the club. The trouble is, a lot of the players won't sign up for these, and they sort of strong-arm clubs into giving them, and some of them do, this big money. The other side of it is, unless there's a personality thing as well, and in some sense I can see where Sterling's coming from. I don't believe in the statements and all that. But if I look at some of these Chelsea players that are reportedly now going to be playing before him, I think I'd be scratching my head as well. I will tell you one that played today, and obviously we didn't see the game, but unless he's somehow engaged a brain over the last 3 or 4 months, Mykhailo Mudryk. Mykhailo Mudryk, big money, big wages, up to this moment in time. If we're talking about Raheem Sterling not producing anything, and OK, we may give him some time as being a younger player, but he's been absolutely hopeless in his period there. And yet it seems Sterling, maybe on bigger money, I know all that, but is the one that's being pushed out. And that's where players sometimes go, hey, what about him? And what about him? Sometimes it falls on deaf ears.
I 100% agree with you about the incentive.
If you're going to
take him.
Right.
But there's a problem to that, though.
Nobody wants to do it.
Well, why would he do it? He's got 3 years left.
Yeah.
He's got 3 years left on 325 grand a week. Why would Raheem Sterling put himself in that position when he can sit and have a cup of tea every morning and watch them training and playing every Saturday?
Because he loves football.
And still get his money. Well, he don't strike me as a guy
we had this
that loves
conversation
football.
the other day, and the thing is, that's where Chelsea have to come back to the table. And I've seen these things happen where, listen, we want you to go. But the player can say, well, listen, I don't give a toss what you want. I have a contract here. But you're not strong-arming me. So this club, I want to go and play for Club X, but Club X is offering me a third of my salary. They're incentivising the rest, so there's no guarantee. You're going to have to cough up X amount in my remainder of my contract. If you do that, Chelsea Football Club, I will go to this club. If you don't, I might stay and have a cup of tea and piss a few people off, as Stevie says. So this is where Chelsea are in a scenario where you're not always the big boss. Just because you're the big cheese and you're a billionaire and you own the club, it doesn't. People have contracts. And so this is where this is all going to have to be figured out, unless Raheem Sterling's all of a sudden say, as Frankie says, I love the game, I'm going to take a 70% wage cut and go and play. How many players are going to go and do that?
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Frank?
Yeah, unlikely, and it's sad. And I completely agree with you. Of course, there's a situation where you say, no, you know what? I have 3 years contract and I stay, and you pay me or give me some money, and maybe I leave. Like that, I cut my wage in half with the other club, but otherwise I don't move. I understand that. No problem. It's a negotiation. But I know, because now it's over for me, that it's a short-term career. And overall, what we love is the game. And because you earn, I don't know, 3 million per year, you can be easy in your life after your career with 1 million per year. I mean, we are talking about million. I mean, we work for ESPN now. We want to do something after. We're quite comfortable, and we earn like 100 times less than those players. So I'm not trying to find an excuse for them to not willing to play football. You know, cut your wage at 60%. Maybe I live in a fairy tale because you want to play football. Show me that you're a real football player. Don't show me that you are a greedy business guy, and that's all matters. I'm sorry, but yeah, the club is wrong, but the players, if they want to carry on, they will have to make an effort. I mean, I would never sign a Raheem Sterling right now with the wage that he has, even if I'm tense on the table and I need somebody was supposedly his talent before. I mean, we saw the graphic. It's not only in league when he signed for Chelsea that he was bad. The 2 years before, that was half of his goals, half of his assists comparing to the other years. It's why Guardiola got rid of him. And Chelsea paid him 2 awful years, and now Aston Villa wants him. I mean, this world is getting crazy. Crazy.
That's a lovely Disney movie Frank's talking about there. Where the player loves the game and he's going to sacrifice all his money to play the game. The problem is, Frank,
I did it.
We all understand it now because we're older, and we understand when you're playing, it's never going to end. And everybody tells you that. I remember Mark Lawrenson at Liverpool saying to me, by the way, let me tell you something. I think I was 21 at the time. He said, by the way, enjoy yourself, because very soon it'll be over. And I'm like, what's this guy talking about? You don't think that way. And Raheem Sterling is sitting there going, I'm only 29. I can sit here for 3 years and still play. He's not thinking about all the things that Frank's talking about, because he's playing. He doesn't realise, and you don't realise until you've finished that it is a short career.
And do you know the thing is, we're sitting talking about it as a story, and it is a story, slim pickings and all that, Europa Conference. It's not Kevin De Bruyne, it's not Mo Salah, it's
Europa
not...
Conference playoff.
Huh?
Europa Conference playoff.
Not even at the Europa Conference yet.
It sounds exactly what it is.
It's not... and I tell you, I would imagine there's thousands of Chelsea fans well, there's more than that, but there's thousands of them. They turn up, and I don't think any of them are talking about whether Raheem Sterling's playing or not. And I think maybe that kind of sums it up as well. About, you know, for Chelsea, this is a financial issue now, and Enzo Maresco maybe a little bit of a headache getting thrown his way every other day or whatever. But I would imagine there is no supporters walking down to Stamford Bridge on a match day saying, wonder if Raheem Sterling's back in the squad today. Because I don't think they think that he's going to make the difference.